Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode. The Sunday Book Review is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network. The Sunday Book Review for October 29, 2023, the Classic Movie Monsters Edition. As perhaps any listener to my podcast or reader of my blog post knows, I am a huge fan of classic monster movies. So today we're going to take a look at some books which talk about these great movies. First up, the Kaiju film, a critical study of cinema's biggest monsters by Jason Barr. This book has a number of themes about big monsters, including, of course, King Kong, Godzilla, as well as some of the other major big monster movie franchises. Next up, Universal Studio Monsters, A Legacy of Horror by Mike Mallory. 2021 was the milestone anniversary for Universal Horrors. Through the 20s to the 50s, Universal was Hollywood's #1 studio for horror pictures. The official history of this is a comprehensive and definitive volume on cinema's most enduring genre, lavishly illustrated with production stills. It is a one-book library on horror films. Next up, Lost in the Dark, a world history of the horror film by Brad Wiesmann. Since 1990, the production of horror films has risen exponentially worldwide. This book is a straightforward history written for the general reader and student that can serve as a comprehensive reference work. The volume provides a general introduction to the genre as well as a guidebook to some of the key films. The author covers such topics as horror in literature and art, B-movies, the destruction of American censorship. It's a sweeping survey that does not skimp on details. And we say perhaps the best for last, John Landis's Monsters in the Movies, 100 Years of Cinematic Nightmares. This book is truly one of my favorites, and it's one that you should definitely check out. John Landis, of course, famous director of various movies, and he is a true cinephile. From cinema's earliest works, big monster movies have scared the wits out of all of us, from B-movie boogeymen to monsters in space. Landis surveys the historical origins of archetype movies and as well as stories of the productions, the directors, the actors, and indeed the afterlife. If you're a true cinephile, or if you just enjoy some great and classic monsters, this is probably the best book I can recommend. I happened to stroll into a Barnes & Noble this past week, and I saw it was on sale. So I was even stunned to see that really something this great could be available for around $25. So if you're a big monster movie fan, check out one or more of these books. Check out my series this month on popcorn and compliance, where I took a look at several classic Universal monster pictures. Happy Halloween, everyone. Into the Compliance Podcast Network, it's Two Gurus Talk Compliance, where, with my friend and colleague Christy Grant Hart, we take a look at some of the top compliance commentary around. It's a long-form, up to 1 hour podcast, but if you're interested in compliance, if you're interested in Christy Grant Hart and myself talking about compliance, this would be a great podcast for you to check in on. It premiered on March 10th on the Compliance Podcast Network. I know you'll enjoy this latest offering. Additionally, we have Data-Driven Compliance, which is a podcast where I look at the use of data in compliance programs. This is perhaps the most cutting-edge podcast I have going right now. And if you're interested in how data can be used, how to structure a data analytics program, what tools are available out there for you, and how compliance practitioners are using data, this is certainly the podcast for you. So check out Data-Driven Compliance, all on the Compliance Podcast Network. The Sunday Book Review is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.